Welcome to the second video of the forehand course, where we're going to be looking at starting the forehand from the ready position with our left hand on the racket. From the ready position, I'm simply going to take the racket back by turning my body sideways with my left hand on the racket. Then I'm going to release the racket with my left hand and draw out a semicircle with my racket. Once I do that, you can see that I'm in the racket back position, which was the position we were starting in the previous video.
Before I start hitting some balls from behind the service line, it's important to notice that my right arm is already in the position that I want it to be in before I take the racket back with my left hand. The difference now is that my racket is starting in front of me and it's also angled up. Now that I'm hitting some balls, I want you to focus on my right arm. Notice that it's already relatively straight even before I take the racket back, and as I turn my body sideways, it isn't changing. Then after I release the racket with my left hand, I'm going to draw out a semicircle. And that's going to get me to the racket back position, and from there, I'm just doing the same things that I was doing in the previous video. And if we freeze it right here, you can see that my racket is just about to draw out my semicircle, and you'll notice that my right arm is above my waist. That way it can have more momentum when it drops down to my waist. And if we could freeze it again here, you'll see now that I finished drawing out my semicircle with my racket, and my arm is now at waist level. Now let's look at what my left hand is doing. My left hand is staying on the racket as my body turns sideways, and then I'm releasing it, and then I'm extending it out across my body. From this perspective, I want you to focus on my right arm and my racket face. And if we freeze it here, I'm halfway through drawing out my semicircle, and my arm or my racket face haven't changed since I've taken it back. And if we play it again, just keep focusing on my right arm and my racket face, and notice how they're not changing at all throughout the whole shot, from when I take the racket back from my ready position, to my contact point, and on my follow through, which is exactly what I want when I'm doing these fundamentals. And once you're able to execute these things consistently, then you'll be able to develop your forehand further.